Hey guys, meteorologist Chris Tomer here with this On the Snow Before You Go forecast. Be sure to hit the subscribe button so you get notified when my latest forecasts come out. All right, here's what I'm looking at over the next 5, 7, 8, 9 days. And, we've had this rich flow up into the Pacific Northwest, BC, Washington State in particular, with pretty high rain snow lines over the last couple of days, up to like 4,800 feet around Revelstoke and Kicking Horse. All those are going to be dropping to a lower elevation with colder air. Whistler Blackcomb's had rain snow lines up to like 4,100 feet, but all of them starting on 310 will drop. And through 310, 311 to lower elevation, in other words, colder air will be moving in, which will be a good thing for that area. For the rest of the Intermountain West, California, over to Utah, Idaho, Wyoming, Colorado, Arizona, New Mexico, there are potentially 2 to 3 different storm systems lined up with the next storm cycle that should run anywhere from 312 to 318. So that's going to be a key time frame for a lot of the West. Let me give you the lay of the land here on the water vapor satellite imagery. So on this, your oranges and reds at the low levels are going to be your drier air. Your moisture's in the whites and the blues. And I got to point out this big area of high pressure sitting down here across the desert Southwest. Now, eventually that's going to be removed, but that is what's providing the this ramp almost in the atmosphere for all this atmospheric moisture to shoot into Washington State and a lot of interior BC. Now that will eventually be drying up as well. You've got a storm system right here trying to anchor it there, and then another big storm back here. That'll be part of that pattern shift that comes into the Intermountain West 312 through 318. So let me just show you my snow timeline. Best odds of snow here for Big Sky, the Wasatch, Tetons, Colorado, interior BC, the Pacific Northwest, Tahoe, and the Northeast. I won't go through all these, but you can really see the 2 major storm systems of this bunch. You can see it clearly. Big Sky, Wasatch, Tetons, Colorado. So somewhere around 312, 313 through 314, 315. And then the second storm system comes in 315, 16, 17, 18, somewhere right in there. And both of them should have heavy snow potential for a lot of the Intermountain West. If you're up in the Northeast, I don't have much for you. Light to moderate snows in the morning of 3, kind of trickling into 310, and then it's a waiting game until potentially a storm system very late in the period. So I think that's the way things are going to shake out. Another way to look at this, it's going to be hard to miss. And over the next 7, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 days, this is my spider chart, odds of best snow, more purple higher on the web, better snow, better new snow. That's a lot of places. That's a lot of the West. Colorado, Utah, Wyoming, Idaho, I mean, you can. There's very few places that are going to do poorly. The Northeast, you're going to be short on snow until we get that storm system very late in the period. So you're lower on the spider chart. But man, it's going to be a great period for a lot of different locations. Let me show you the jet stream forecast. So we'll start this early on Monday morning, March 10th. So on this map, I'm looking for the brighter colors. I'm looking for the reds, the oranges, the tans. That's going to be your stronger winds up at jet stream level 30,000 feet. And those are the areas this basically is what's showing you the guiding stream, the jet stream that pushes storm systems around the globe. So on Monday morning, everything's up to the north, still a little high pressure ridging across the west. That rich flow is up into the Pacific Northwest and BC. All right, here comes a little southern track low right here. You can kind of see the slight dip in the jet in that white area over the four corners. So here's early on Wednesday, March 12th. That passes through, not a lot to it. Here comes the start of the next storm cycle. This is early on Thursday, March 13th, California, and then it moves into Utah, Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, Colorado, Arizona, New Mexico. Here's early on Friday, March 14th, sliding right on through. There's a little area of low pressure behind it as well, kind of digging in to parts of southern Utah and Arizona. Here's early Saturday, March 15th. That moves out, and here comes another big storm system. This is early on Monday, March 17th. Look at the dip in the jet sliding into the Pacific Northwest, California. Then it moves into Nevada, Utah, Wyoming, Idaho, Montana, Colorado, Arizona. All these places get hit. Look at this. Look at the depth of that trough. Let me go back one. So this is late on Tuesday, March 18th. So the pattern keeps going between basically the 12th and the 18th. There are 2 or 3 different storm systems for the Intermountain West. All right, snow accumulation over time. So on this map, the light blues represent your lightest accumulations under 3 inches. The greens are 3 to 6, and the yellows are 6 plus, reds are 10 plus. So we'll start this. This is early Monday on March 10th. Most of the actions in the Pacific Northwest, BC, and a little bit of snow for the Northeast. It's a lot ahead in time, pretty dry for the west until we get our next storm, and here it comes. All right, so this is early Thursday, March 13th, the start of our big storm cycle. Heavy snow for the Sierra, Oregon, Idaho, developing in Utah, Wyoming, Montana, and Colorado, Arizona. Snowball is going to get quite a bit of snow during this period. So will parts of New Mexico. So here's early on Friday, March 14th, heavy snow potential. Here we are late on the 14th. That storm slides up to the northern plains. And then here comes our next storm system. This is early on Sunday, March 16th, sliding through the Intermountain. There's early on March 17th. And then there's a little trailing low right there. That is early on Tuesday, March 18th, right there. All right, so looking at numbers, here's my forecast, all of the 10th through the 16th. So that'll take us through the weekend. I've got basically 1 to 3 feet of accumulation for the Wasatch. I've got about 20 inches in my forecast for the Tetons. And up in Montana, the bigger amounts are up in the northwest part of the state, closer to that rich feed. Idaho does very well with about 1 to 2 feet of accumulation during this time frame. Pacific Northwest, 1 to 3 feet. Interior BC, looking at probably 10 to 20. A little bit less as you go down to the Marmot Basin and Sunshine Village. The West Coast. California looks good with a couple of different storm systems and about 3 feet of accumulation. Southern Utah and Arizona looking at potentially 20 to 24 inches there through Bryant Head and the Snowball. Northern New Mexico, 8 to 12 inches. Colorado, the big numbers are in the western slope, anywhere from 10 to 20 inches, and then potentially 6 to 8 there east of Vail into Summit County up on the Continental Divide, Loveland, A Basin, Keystone, Winter Park, Eldora. So a really good period. Like I said, it's going to be hard to miss. Once we get into that storm cycle on or after the 12th or 13th, it's going to be pretty good. Up in the Northeast, again, pretty light stuff, 2 to 4 inches here. Upstate New York, Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine through the 16th. But remember, late on the 16th into the 17th, maybe a storm system, a little more significance rolls in. But until then, it's very light. All right, guys, we'll end on the big Western map here. Good stuff with that storm cycle coming in, 312 to about 318. Thanks for tuning in here to this On the Snow Before You Go forecast. Appreciate it. Take care and have a great day.